Hello, hi. Welcome to another episode of CampusVibe Cast. This is one show that you don't want to miss. We're looking at financial literacy. You know, this is a program brought to you by the Directorate of Extracurricular Development at Swan University of Technology, where we empower students looking deeply into the student life and also the good things and the important things that you need to know. That's why today we are looking at financial literacy. My name is Rotenda Ramozuri. We are going to be having an exciting time today as we're joined by two students from Harakua campus at Swan University of Technology, Dakaro and Charlotte. They'll tell us more about themselves before we delve deeper into the matter. Dakaro, welcome to Campus Vibecast.
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. Yeah, my name is Takaron Kekenene. I'm third year student doing economics. Yeah, and I'm also like a content creator. I do photography. Yeah, I do a lot of things around campus. I'm an ambassador at TUT.
Charlotte, please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you for inviting me. My name is Charlotte Masego. I'm a first year student. I'm from Pumalanga, Mbalenhle. So nice to be here.
Okay. Very, very healthy young woman. I love that. So, as we were planning this episode, I'm like, I hope when we say we're going to talk about financial literacy and money, you guys will not run away. I'm so happy you came to join us. So, Dakaro, when we talk about money as a student on campus and also a student anywhere else, because yes, you might be on campus, but you also have a life outside of the university. What comes to your mind when we talk about money? Do you see it flowing? Do you think about struggle? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when we talk finance?
So I live with my cousins and we are like a lot. So every time, because we have like only one breadwinner, which is my aunt. So every time when she's like coming from work, like we are like too demanding. So I feel like when I'm at school, it's better because I'm alone, so I can spend my money alone. Unlike when I'm at home, because when I'm at home, it's tough. Yeah, so that's what I think when it comes to money.
I didn't see that one coming, but I suppose it's a reality of most South Africans because fewer people today are working. So this is a very important topic to be looking at. But you know what's touching me is that you're saying you do know that you don't spend your money the same if you're at home and also on campus, meaning that you're going to teach us how you manage that. So Charlotte, what came to mind when we said we're going to be talking about finance?
Finance is one of the most problems in South Africa. So as students, we struggle a lot because knowing your background and the money that you receive, like you have to spend less, eat less also.
Yeah. Okay. I'm finding that interesting. So, Dakaro, you said that when you're at home and also when you're on campus, you spend money differently. How differently do you spend the money? Do you spend less when you are here, or are you able to manage your money better? Do you drop a budget? How does Dakaro do his own um, budget? Like we know the finance minister will be coming with the midterm budget and da da da. And Harankwa TUT campus is known for finance. How do you handle that? And also, studying finance, does it help you to look at money differently, like someone who's not studying about finance?
I share like a unit with like a friend, so we share groceries. So yeah, there's always a budget for food, then budget for other things like entertainment, and also because of I do content creation, I spend most of my things like investing on whatever, like yeah. So yeah, there's always a budget for everything.
Do you draw it up?
I just freestyle. I just think about it like maybe groceries will be like 700K plus. I want new shoes. I'll spend like maybe 500. Yeah, then I'll see what the rest. Yeah.
Okay, so essentially you pay as you go. Okay, that's interesting, and it lasts until the end of the month.
Yeah, sometimes.
Are sometimes I really love that. So Charlotte, how do you handle your money? Do you drop a budget? Or what do you do?
So for me, when I receive money from my sister and then my uncle, that means I'll have 1,000 rand. So with the 1,000 rand, I drop my budgets and be like, I'm gonna buy food of 400, those combo ShopRite combos that cost 100 rand, and then I'll buy those cheap Nyana products. toiletries, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm left with 300. I'm gonna take 100 rand. That's gonna last me for the whole month to buy at campus, maybe sweets of 5 rand, just to save. And then mostly that saves me. I buy those noodles that cost 210 rand. They save me shame. I don't wanna lie. I eat them every morning, and then maybe I cook, but then I don't usually cook, so that's how I save.
So tell me, Charlotte, you counted everything, ne? Unlike Dakar and me, who party sometimes, I didn't hear any entertainment budget. Do you ever go out to drink? How do you entertain yourself? Do you see that as necessary within your budget? Is that catered for? Do you do it as you go? How do you do it?
Being honest, ever since the year started, I didn't go out like to drink, buy booze, and go vibes. I only go to McD or Domino's, buy food. That's what I do.
Guys, Charlotte is disciplined. You are one disciplined person. But I love the balance though. I love the balance though. Because it's saying to a student who's watching this episode, think about your money and how you're going to spend it and do it wisely. And there's no money which is less. Because if you can survive on 500, I really respect that. You need to teach many more students how to do that. I wish you can even maybe come up with your own podcast of how I survive on 500 every month. I can imagine how many lives it's going to change. But you know what? You don't have to, because we are doing the episode today. You'll give us the more info. So Dakar, tell me, do you receive NSFAS? Do you get any other financial help? Where do you get the money?
I do receive NSFAS. So the other money I get from like gigs such as like my photography. Yeah. Then I think that's all. I only get money from like photography. I used to sell like sweets and whatever, like a dress. So I used to also get like extra money from there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's very interesting. So, does receiving NSFAS change anything in your life? Do you feel like it balances you?
I think it does because of sometimes we do get like NSFAS through on recess. So when it's recess, we do like sometimes get NSFAS, so I can balance when I'm at home when like there's no food or whatever. I can also at least add something. Yeah, so it does have like an impact, like a huge impact. Yeah.
Okay. So, when you're saying that you do receive it at times during recess and you receive it and it makes a difference. So, hi, Kenna, you don't just go and swipe. Boma. Okay. Okay. So, Charlotte, do you receive NSFAS? Where do you get your money?
I don't receive my NSFAS, but then I'm still on that process. They're promising that we're going to receive our NSFAS soon. But then, thanks to our university, they're going to give us like 500 this coming month. So, yeah. I've been getting my money from my uncle and also my sister.
So, Charlotte, do you have a business, something else that helps you to generate money? Have you tried a business idea? Like when you think about money, is it all on you? How are you doing it?
On the side hustle thing, I'm an aerobic instructor, so I did try it on my previous race, but then it didn't work out. Students don't want to pay, so I'm also on the process.
Are you sure they don't want to pay? Or you
There's
were going to the wrong market?
I think so, yeah, I think.
Okay.
So I'm also in the process on writing my book, Breaking Barriers, of which I think is gonna help a lot of students like who also went through the same situations that I also went through.
What are those? Just a snippet, Nyana.
Growing in poverty, losing parents at an early age, being homeless and everything.
Yo? Okay, but since we're talking about finance, ne, we respect that you're saying that we'll get the full info in the book, ne? And I want us to get that book and get all the information. But just related to this episode, the homelessness financially, how did you survive it? And how long was it for?
I would say like for all my life, I would say just respect a person, but because umuntu ngabantu, that's how it works. So melema umuntu uhlonipha abantu, because I am where I am today because of other people who helped me financially, emotionally.
Okay, so in essence, when you were homeless, there are people who were helping you in that situation. Okay, and how long was this for?
From 2022 till 2025. Yeah, 2024, yeah. Because I'm staying at my friend's house.
You're staying at your friend's house. Okay. Oh, so you were able to move out from the streets because your friend took you in, so you can stay with them. We thank God for them.
Oh, I'm really grateful.
Ne? Wow, you're such an imbogodo.
Yeah, I am the
You
strong one.
Exactly. Because people will be like, yeah, freedom fighters. We are fighting a lot these days. They say we are Gowisha, but I say you are not Gowishing, you got it. So impressed. So now let's go back to how finances affect you as a student. Because when we talk about money, it's very, very closely related to mental wellness and your overall well-being. Research has been done, countless researches have been done, looking at the link between finance and wellness. How do you think not having money affects you as a person, Takaro?
I think not having money for some students, like, it causes depression because they can't afford like their sanitary things and whatever, and like, yeah, I think it causes depression, and like not having money is not nice. It's not nice. So it's not nice.
All right, you think that it causes depression for some people. And you, when you don't have money, what comes to your mind? What do you do? How do you come out of it so that you are able to be in the state that you are in? Because your response tells me that even when you don't have money at a certain point, you still remain in charge. But there are people who, when they see their bank balance going low, they panic a lot. They get anxiety. How do you survive that? How do you balance that in your mind and in your daily life, whether as a student or at home?
I feel like as a student, it's better if you know that your groceries are covered. Even if you don't have money, at least you know you have something to eat before you sleep or like during the day. Because if you don't have anything to eat, that's where the anxiety and all those things come.
You taught me something very essential. So essentially, you're advising students that when you get your money, cover the basics, cover the essential things, so that you don't get panic attacks or anxiety or to be in a state of depression or overstressed because you didn't cover the basics. But something very interesting that you're saying, Ore, you must cover the basics. But there's someone who can cover the basics even if they want, right? And I'd like to bring this back to you, Charlotte, because you're saying that you were once homeless. How can we help students who are not able to get those basics? What do you think should be done?
Yo, I think like they should draw up a budget. Think of the needs, especially food and toiletries. Never mind clothes, never mind entertainment, because that's not what we're here for, the entertainment side. So I think like they should draw up a budget, and ShopRite helps, Shem. I don't wanna lie, the combos, the 100 Rand combos, they really help.
Ne? Okay. But since we're saying that we're talking about someone who has no money at all, so it means though that if there can be donations, maybe, I don't know. So donations for basic food and sanitary towels so that someone can be able to focus on education, right? Yeah. So coming back to the same question that I was asking Dakaro, I want to know when you don't have money, how do you feel? How do you come out of the situation? Also mentally, what do you say to yourself?
Oh, having no money is depressing. Yo, like you said, it brings a lot of anxiety. So I would just say, when I'm broke, ne, yo, be like, hey, I'm broke, Shem. And what's the plan? There's no plan. What you gonna do? You just sit and wait for the month end. And ask. I will usually ask my friends to help out. They've been helping. If like I don't have food, we share. They bring noodles, bring Miss tea, everything. Yeah.
Ne? Wow, you are so fortunate. So meaning that wherever you can be able to help someone, you must help that person because it's an environment where we are all far away from home. We're on campus. For those who stay on campus, yeah. So how does it affect you academically, Dakaro? Or how do you think other students might be affected by not having money or not being able to manage their money well? You've given so many tips, believe me, you have. Because you were talking about how you spend money differently if you're at home and also when you're on campus. You were talking about how you buy those bundles that are able to see you throughout the month. Now, academically, I just want to know how that affects you as a student. Do you feel like it can help you to perform better if you're eating better, if you're able to manage your money better? Does it improve your overall quality of life? I just want to see what you think about that.
What I think, if let's say you don't have money, you won't focus in class because you can't focus on an empty stomach. Yeah, so make sure that you have like your groceries on point. Then entertainment and other things will come after, because food is like essential. Food, water, and like sanitary things are very like essential. So yeah, you need those things first, because anxiety comes out of that if you don't have those things. Some people don't even attend classes because of like they're hungry, they can't eat and whatever. Yeah, so I think you should focus on like buying your groceries first, then entertainment will come after.
Okay, but something very important, that Dakaro taught us today, is that you have small businesses. You said there was a time when you were selling sweets, right? And now you do photography and content creation, which is you somewhat making a plan so that you don't go hungry and you don't get all those frustrations. Like uh, Charlotte waits for the end of the month. I don't know how she does it. She said her friend help her out. But what can you say to another student maybe? What can they think about? Like how can you unlock how they relate to money to say, okay, maybe there's a plan that I can make so that I can be able to live a better life. Because most of us when we're in campus, because I was once on campus, um, we think of easiest ways out. Some girls date older men uh, who tell them what or how to live their lives. Some guys, I don't know what they do because but what can you advise a student who can be to be able to look beyond the situation and also to look at their capabilities when it comes to taking themselves out of the situation? What can you advise them?
As an economic student, there are like buyers and sellers. So as a person, you have to be a seller. Yeah, so that when you like as a seller, you get like income and like profits and whatever. So it's better when you're a seller than a buyer, because when you're a buyer, you waste your money on things. Yeah. So I think as a person or as a student in general, you have to be a seller. Like yeah, that's what I think.
Okay. And just for the record, seller, like English seller, not seller as in like seller. Charlotte, your advice?
I would say there are programs that help students who are struggling. So like I think maybe joining them, also asking friends for help, but then friends who relate, because you can't just go around asking everyone.
Okay. All right.
That's what I think.
Yes. All right. And as we conclude, is there anything else that you feel you should share that talks to financial literacy? Any final words?
I'll just say, as a student or as a person in general, be a seller. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. The message is still the same. Be a seller. Sell something. You shouldn't just be a consumer. You must be someone who's also selling. You should be the supplier, not just a consumer. Very good. Charlotte, your advice?
My advice is spend less, eat less.
Yo. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming through. And I wish you all well with your studies. And I believe that with today's episode and you sharing your experiences and being so relatable to students, I'm sure someone would learn something, and I wish you well. Joining me right now is a lecturer from the Department of Economics, TUT Karatua campus. We'll be learning so much, and I hope that after this, I'll be richer, obviously.
If I'm rich myself, then I will transfer.
Let's look at the student life, the student's experience. As a lecturer, I understand that you focus on academics, but obviously there are observations that you have as someone who's within the academic space and also who interacts with students more. What has been your observations when it comes to money and students?
I think finance is a general issue, whether you're a student or not, but it is more detrimental and stressful when you don't have income, meaning that you are here in campus and you don't have income. So it's very stressful, and it does affect their academic performance, as you have mentioned, because how are you going to focus if you don't have money for food? And we thank God for programs such as NSFAS, which are bursaries, because they are there to ensure that a student life is well equipped with all their needs and financial needs and academic needs while they are studying.
All right. And as someone who looks at economics, I can imagine it also somewhat brings us a topic of money so much to your face, or often, voluntarily and involuntarily. Do you think students spend money wisely? Without referring to anyone, so that tomorrow they don't say, Pella, I confided in confidence, just generally. Do you think students know how to spend money?
It's tricky. I will say, for example, Economics 101 says that we are studying, it's a social study which focus on our unlimited wants and limited resources, looking at money because we want everything. That is the truth. And wanting everything says that with the limited resources that you have, you always have to make a choice.
Absolutely.
In terms of spending wisely, I always say what you are will always go back to the people that surround you. There are students that are here, they do not overspend because people surrounding them do not give them pressure to. But at the same time, there are those with expensive gadgets, and you find that you're surrounded by them. You end up being forceful to spend unnecessarily because you want to belong. Peer pressure is a very essential topic that, even when we say mental health, there are areas and sectors within the university that can support you, but there are also elements where we are unable to reach for support. So there are people who do spend unnecessarily. And as much as we say that spend what you have, always make a choice, opportunity cost, sometimes when it comes to reality, coming out of that class, they will do the exact opposite.
So reality becomes a completely different picture. So tell me, you did say that there is support for students. Do you think that we must do enough to equip the students, or we must do not enough? We must do more when it comes to equipping students, especially when it comes to budgeting. Do they know how to budget, and do you think there should be tools that help them more, or maybe they are aware? I don't know.
Budgeting, it's a very important issue when it comes to money. But budgeting starts with needs versus wants, according to my view. What do you need? And what is it that is essential? And once you have that out of the way, because remember, disposable income, once you have that out of the way, now it goes back to how much is left and how do I use it. So being a student, it's also tricky because there's also a part of entertainment outside academia, in which as much as we can equip them with a lot of information, will they be able to make a choice and say, this is not necessary? I don't have to go to the mall. I don't have to buy this many takeouts. I don't have to do this. But like I said, it's very tricky because also the amount of money that they work with, it's limited. But we are doing enough. More will always be welcome. We learn every day. We learn through people. We learn direct or indirect, voluntary and involuntarily. So if there is a way to make it known, programs like this to say, how can we help? If you are struggling, come, let us help you restructure your budget. Let us help you to see what you need and what you do not need. Let us see where you actually overspend. Because sometimes you will overspend in things that you don't need. Phones, data, and if you're using other phones, you have to buy other things for it to be functional. So you find that a person can spend more than 500 maybe on TikTok data or Facebook data. It's not wrong, get me right. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but at the end of the day, it goes back, is it necessary? Is it something you can live without? Is it something that you need, or is it something that you can put it on the side and say, I will do it when I have more or a surplus of income?
Very, very interesting. But now, because we are talking about students who are from different backgrounds, they obviously encounter different challenges. Uh, but I like what you're saying, needs versus wants. And when we are interacting with some of the students, they were saying the best thing you can do is to buy food first and then make sure that the basics are covered. But if it happens that I'm not able to do that, it becomes a problem. It also affects students academically. Are the students who come to you with such challenges saying, "Yes, you know, I don't have money, I can't even listen in class"?
It happens because, it sad as it is, there are students that may have to share the little that they get with other family members. Not because it's a choice, but because others also need it for survival. So, as much as we can talk budget all the way, it also goes back to the background. Because I can say to you, if you have an income of 6,000, this is how you can break it down. But another person can say, all I get per month is 1,000 rand. And I must also think about my younger sister who's still in high school. So it becomes tricky, and we do have students who have financial challenges, students who sometimes will end up taking additional jobs outside campus for survival. It is a reality. And even if you can say, but as far as this, when they sit down with you and break down the responsibilities that they may have been carrying on their shoulder, you will say that as much as we can shout budget, needs versus wants, they are in a dire situation and they are doing the best that they can. Coming back to how it affects their academic. And I think this is something that goes back from even basic education. A child cannot listen if they are hungry, hence the food program. You cannot focus on your studies if you are not okay mentally, if your stomach is empty, if you feel like you do not belong in a group of people that is surrounding you. Those are things that, as someone outside an environment of a student, we do not see that. But it affects their performance drastically. You would even call and say, I know you are a bright student, what is happening? When they sit down and lay down the challenges that they face, you will see that they are really trying their best, but finance plays a huge role in everyone's life.
Very, very interesting. And being that as it may, you find that some solve it by getting extra work, like you're saying, some call it side hustles. But how does that ultimately affect a student? Because someone can say, maybe I can start a smaller Nyana business. How is that also likely to affect a student?
Campus job, it's not a problem, simply because in campus we know that you are here to learn. We work with your timetable. We are here to provide, support to you. But any job outside campus becomes a problem because you work with their timetable now. So you will find that you must attend classes 4 times a week, but you can only come 2 times a week. It becomes a challenge. As a TUT alumni, by the way, once had, while I was studying, a side hustle myself. And it was very tricky to manage and to find the balance. Because even if it's a weekend job, you come back Monday, you are tired. An assignment is due on Monday. You have a test coming up on Tuesday. When are you finding time to focus on your studies? And now what does it do? When you repeat a module, now it increases your time within this space, meaning that you are decreasing the time that you should be out there working a proper job, not worrying about studying.
So you don't solve a problem by creating another problem. So now let's look at the issue of credit. There are students who take credit. Some, they start with their friends. They don't pay back the money. They see you as a lecturer if they borrowed money from you. How they hide. But here's that person that I owe, But besides, there are those who also do credit to take credit from other institutions outside campus. where you find that when they go look for work later, it affects their lives. What advice would you give students regarding that?
You know, I would say when it comes to credit, like maybe getting a credit card, a student credit card, there is no right or no answer, just to start them. Finances requires discipline from all angles. Whether a student, whether you are working, it requires discipline. Some can argue and say, I am a postgraduate or an advanced diploma student. I want to build a credit profile. Is it okay? It goes back to, will you be able to meet your obligation? Will you be able to pay your debtors? If you are able to pay your debt, by the time you work and you want to buy a car, you already have an existing profile. But lack of discipline, it makes life difficult in the long run. It prolongs, the situation, because you're thinking you are solving a situation now, a problem now, but you are creating a problem for later. Now you are working, you are independent, you earn good money, and you want to buy that car that you're dreaming of. You want to commute easily, but now the bank says you've been flagged. So it goes back to saying, will you be able to meet your obligation? Because we cannot use a blanket system. Like I said earlier, also background plays a role. So even here, we cannot use a blanket system, because maybe someone may have maybe a campus job and they get student credit card with no interest, and they use a portion of it, but they're able to pay back the money on time. It creates a better credit profile for them in later. But now you do the opposite. You will wait. You will be the one busy calling and say, I made the payment, I have the payment later. Can you clear me out so that I can buy a car? So it's very frustrating, very frustrating. So if you know that in terms of responsibilities, you may not be able to meet that. You know that it may be challenging for you to make a repayment, whether 200 or 500 or 1,000, then do not do it. And just to make an example, a student years back opened an account and used me as a reference. I was not aware. Then later, as the years progress, we meet new students every year. They graduated. Now I get phone calls. You owe, you owe, you owe. It was a certain clothing store. And I said, but why are you calling me? I don't have an account there. Are you not so-and-so? And like, no. But you can just imagine how many years later this is still affecting that person. If you don't have to, stay away from it. Campus life can be easy and affordable. Let's do what we can at the time that we can. Yes.
What we can at the time that we can.
Yes.
So tell me about a student who is listening to this podcast now, and they're like, yo, if I was given this advice a year ago, I wouldn't be where I am now. But I'm here now, and I admit, and I'm reflecting on that. I could have done things better. What steps would you advise them to take?
It's not too late. Number one, it is never too late, regardless of what. And the worst thing that can happen is receiving an answer no. You first go, pay your debts, make an arrangement, meet your obligations, and make a follow-up so that once you have made that payment, you receive a payment letter, and you make sure that it's submitted through the credit bureau and your name is cleared. So that in future, when you want to buy a house, because remember, you now want to acquire assets. You want to buy a house. Do I qualify? Yes. Can I get it? No. Why? Credit record. Because they will not say, this is a student, let's leave them. They want their money. So if you can, don't say it will be a stale debt. After a certain year, it will be removed.
Pay your debts.
Pay your debt, because yes, it can be a stale debt, but how will it affect you later when you want to buy that beautiful house that you afford, that beautiful apartment that you afford, that is closer to work, when you want to make commuting easy and you want to buy yourself a car? So as much as it can be a stale debt, but how will life be when you cannot get all the things that you afford legally, in the right channel? So pay your debt, make an arrangement, go back, pay as small as you can. You can even pay for 5 years or 3 years. What's important is that you are meeting your obligation. When all is said and done, ask for a paid up letter, submit it, get your name cleared up. When your career starts to blossom, you'll be able to afford everything that you want.
Okay. So that person now is recovering, ne?
Yes.
But also there are people who, when students will feel like, I'm still young, like I'm still young. I have my whole life ahead of me. I must enjoy my life, and by thinking that, some end up thinking, I will cultivate discipline later in life, because you kept referring on discipline. It's your discipline, it's your character, regardless of what subject you're studying. Money does affect you.
Yes.
How early should I start cultivating, and what can I do if I'm a student and I want to be the person you are describing?
Yeah, like you mentioned, character plays a huge role. And I would always make a joke and say, every time you want to make the bad decisions, we'll say life is short.
Just swipe that next fast. Just swipe. Buy that phone when.
But life can equally be long. Remember that. Life can equally be long. So if you say life is short, as much as yes, life can be short because we don't know what tomorrow holds, but life can equally be long. And regretting decisions that you made as a young person, you are looking back, you are affected. You cannot move. Now you are an adult, you want maybe to have your own space, you want to do this. You can't, because of a decision that you made previously. It becomes very challenging. So what we do today, it's a seed for what we will get
happen later.
tomorrow. Every single thing, every single day. What you do, you saying, I'm not studying, I'm closing that book, I'm going to the grooves, will impact. I'm still young. And the problem is that you do not remain young forever. So what are you waiting for you to wake up? Are you waiting for you to be outside the youth space, where now opportunities are difficult for you to get, to catch a wake-up call? It starts now.
Very interesting. There are young people who feel like starting a business will be better for them to be able to balance themselves. You did talk about work, but you said within campus it's much better. But those students who are saying, okay, maybe I'll start a small business on campus, do you encounter, have you come across such students, and are they focused? What do you think are their main challenges?
I would say I am very proud of the type of students that we have, because they are open-minded. I would even say to them, what service do you provide? I have a lot of products that I bought from students. I have students who do nails, I have students who do lashes, and all other things. Others are selling these perfume brands, and we do support them. Others are selling shampoos. They are taking every opportunity with two hands. And the nice thing about making such decisions is that it does not affect your schoolwork. You say, no, I'm open between this time and that time. I can do your nails that 1 hour. I am selling a certain brand of perfumes and nail polish. How much are you selling for this much? okay, order for me this and that. So it does work. And, I think it also gives them confidence, because at the same time, we are not equipping employees, but we are also equipping entrepreneurs.
Wow, very, very moving. In closing, just short words of advice. Maybe there's something that we didn't cover and you feel this is very important for students to know. What would that advice be?
Investment. There are safe investment like your government bonds, your treasury bonds. It just requires one, you take that investment once. Let's say maybe they require a minimum of 1,000 rand. Then if you have surplus income, you can take that, put it away for 5 years. It's a safe investment, and it also takes into consideration inflation. The amount of money that you invest is the amount of money that you will get. Yes, the return may be low, but remember, you are not having a debit order every month. You just take it once off, you put it there. By the time your life starts, you have something that you can take and say, I have this, and I can start a small business while I'm waiting for employment opportunities.
Wow. Thank you so much. I learned a lot myself, and I'm 100% sure that all the students who are going to be watching this episode are going to benefit something out of it. And learning and rectifying and sharpening yourself, it never stops at any point in time. So the more we hear these positive words that tell us that there is a tomorrow and life can be long, then we start to reflect. But thank you so much for your time. We truly appreciate it. You're such a vibe.
Thank you, ma'am. I had fun myself.
You're most welcome. That was it today on CampusVibe Cast. We're looking at financial literacy. But do not forget that everything that you hear on this podcast, it's meant to make your life better. But should you be encountering challenges, reach out. Make sure that you look for help well in time. For myself, I had a wonderful time talking to you.
Same here.
Yes. Yeah. And also, we'd like to thank our producers, Nenki, Lillian Kaule, Tseho TG, as well as Freddy G. Until we meet again next time, take care.